I use a photo of my ex-boyfriend as my desktop wallpaper. My advisor saw it and went silent. Do you know him? Without thinking, I said, that's my boyfriend. The next day, my advisor enthusiastically invited me over for dinner. When the door opened, I stood face to face with Alex. Son, I brought your girlfriend home. I glanced at the walls, looking for a crack to crawl into. I was the one who dumped him. After revising my thesis based on my professor's feedback, I was so relieved I slept from morning till night. I had just woken up when my advisor called. Can you come over now? 7 missed calls. I didn't dare refuse. I grabbed my laptop and rushed to his office. My paper was a sea of red comments. It was like watching my own heart bleed out. My advisor just kept sighing, and my heart sank with every breath. While I was spacing out, he accidentally minimized the document. And there it was, a picture of a guy. The tenderness in his eyes seemed to spread right off the screen. It was a total girlfriend perspective shot. I took it. The guy in the picture was Alex. My ex-boyfriend. I couldn't bring myself to delete it, and I'd even sneakily set it as my wallpaper. My advisor was quiet for 2 seconds, then asked casually, you know him? I don't mean anything by it, I've just heard that kids these days use pictures of people they know as their wallpaper. I'm a little curious. It's not your boyfriend, is it? I froze. I had a habit of using my boyfriend as an excuse for not being on campus. But my professor had never actually seen him. Over time, he'd gotten a little suspicious. My brain short-circuited. I rubbed my nose and said, Professor, you guessed it. He let out a long, meaningful "oh." He didn't react much, but he seemed a lot friendlier after that. The next day, on my way to the cafeteria, I got another call from my advisor. His tone was completely different. He was practically beaming. Zoe, you haven't eaten yet, have you? I was completely baffled. No, not yet, Professor. My wife made a huge spread today. Why don't you come over for a bite? I slammed on the brakes of my scooter so hard I almost flew into a bush. I was terrified. Oh, I couldn't, Professor. You guys enjoy. My wife was up at the crack of dawn to go grocery shopping. She's been excited all morning. She made shrimp scampi, crab stuffed meatballs, braised short ribs. Well, that certainly did the trick. My appetite was officially piqued. I completely forgot how weird the whole situation was. How could I, a humble student, refuse such a warm invitation from my professor? Whatever was going on, it could wait until after I ate. Professor, just text me the address. I'll be right there. I got to the front door, and before I could even ring the bell, it swung open. You must be Zoe. Come in, come in. The woman in front of me was beaming. It took me a second to register, then I managed to smile. I'm Zoe Lynn. It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Bell. Just call me by my first name. Who knows, you might be calling me something else soon enough. She was grinning from ear to ear, and I was so unnerved I couldn't take a step forward. She took my hand and yelled toward the kitchen. Honey, go get your son out here. Huh? Her son? The professor's son is here? Wait, why am I here for their family dinner? The professor wiped his hands and came jogging out. Coming, dear. I had to stifle a laugh. I never would have guessed Professor Bell was so whipped. The next second, my smile froze on my face. The professor's voice boomed, Son, I brought your girlfriend home. Get out here. Girlfriend? Is he talking about me? Student to daughter-in-law? Oh, no no no. This can't be happening. Professor, you can't just go around adopting daughters-in-law. Is this my punishment for fudging my research? But he knows I have a boyfriend. A sudden thought struck me, but before I could process it. What girlfriend? I don't have a... A familiar voice started, then stopped cold. I caught a glimpse of his profile and instinctively pulled the beanie I was holding back onto my head. I wanted to cry. Who would have thought Professor Bell's son's last name would be different? If I'd known, I wouldn't have been lazy and skipped washing my hair last night. I didn't even go back to change. I took off my jacket. Underneath, I was just wearing a plain white cotton t-shirt and plaid pants. I was only now realizing they looked a lot like pajamas. Can I make up an excuse and run? Is there a crack in the wall I can disappear into? My head sank lower and lower. I kind of envied turtles. They could just pull their heads into their shells. But the dreaded moment finally arrived. So this is why you never want to come home, the professor said. You're dating someone and you don't even tell your mother and me. If I hadn't seen Zoe's wallpaper yesterday, we'd still be in the dark. My ears turned beet red. Wallpaper? That's right, I saw it with my own 2 eyes. You better treat Zoe right. Professor, please stop talking. My last shred of dignity is about to disintegrate. Alex tilted his head, raised an eyebrow, and said, word by word, oh? Zoe. Lynn. My girlfriend? He dragged out the last word with a strange lilt. I was the one who ghosted him. Can someone please tell me how to get out of a situation this awkward? I decided to just own it. I lifted my head and met Alex's narrowed eyes. Dead inside, I waved. Hey, boyfriend. Fancy seeing you here. My smile must have looked awful, because even his mom could tell something was off. You two know each other so well, why are you being so formal? Was this too sudden? Don't be nervous. We're just so happy, we got a little ahead of ourselves. I paused, meeting her hopeful gaze. I suddenly felt like I couldn't keep up the lie. I took a deep breath, about to explain. Suddenly, I was pulled into a strong embrace. Mom, Dad, you're scaring her. I wasn't trying to hide it from you. You guys are just too nosy. The professor's mouth twitched, but he couldn't help but add, Zoe's still a student. Don't take up too much of her time in the future. I thought about all the excuses I'd made to my professor before. I slowly looked up and met Alex's confused eyes, giving him an awkward smile. Before I could explain, the professor asked curiously, so where did you two go yesterday? She forgot her phone, and you didn't even think to grab it for her. I couldn't take it anymore. Professor, how do you believe everything I say? I jumped in, Professor, we went hiking yesterday. And we had a picnic. A picnic? Where? Your mom was just saying a few days ago she wanted to go on a picnic. My smile froze. Why is he still asking questions? My brain was racing. I hated that I never scrolled through local blogs. I had no idea where to go. Alex saved me. Dad, you're asking too many questions. I'm taking her to wash her hands. Mrs. Bell pushed her husband. Why all the questions? Go get the food on the table. In the bathroom, I let out a sigh of relief and thanked him sincerely. He turned on the faucet, washed his hands, and said nonchalantly, I wasn't helping you. I was helping my dear girlfriend. I was speechless. I was definitely in the wrong here. But I couldn't lose face in front of my ex. If I'd known you were the professor's son, I wouldn't have used you. He paused, his gaze sharp as a knife. Then who were you going to use? I guess there was no one else. He sighed lightly. If you really have a boyfriend, we should probably clear this up now. I grabbed his shirt, on the verge of dropping to my knees. Since it's already happened, we can't exactly break up now. So please, just pretend to be my boyfriend a little longer. Please, please. I looked up at him with my best puppy dog eyes. He stared at me for a long time, his Adam's apple bobbing. I'm not interested in being a stand-in. I was confused. What stand-in? He said casually, didn't you say you were with your boyfriend yesterday? I was with my bed yesterday. All day. He raised his eyebrows, a look of pure joy spreading across his face. Well, in that case, I suppose I can reluctantly agree. Okay, boyfriend. He froze for a second, then leaned against the wall and fell silent. Why did he suddenly turn into the thinker? And why were his ears turning red? I had no idea what was going on, so I just shook my head. I finished washing my hands. My eyes fell on the towel rack. Which towel did Alex just use? As I hesitated, a towel was draped over my hands. This one, girlfriend. Professor Bell came out of the kitchen. Come on, eat before it gets cold. I didn't hold back my praise. Mrs. Bell, you're an amazing cook. If you like it, eat more. You're too skinny. Mrs. Bell kept piling food onto my plate until it was a small mountain. I quickly tried to stop her. That's enough, really, Mrs. Bell. I'll get it myself if I want more. It's your first time here, it's normal to feel a little awkward. I get it. Don't be polite with me. The bowl in front of me was huge. Bigger than my hand. I sighed internally. I'm not being polite, ma'am. It's so embarrassing to be a guest and not finish your food. I was starting to worry. I heard a chuckle from beside me. I turned my head slightly. Alex was resting his head on his hand, watching me with a smirk. Mrs. Bell was not pleased. What are you laughing at? You're not even serving Zoe any food. He finally picked up his chopsticks. I panicked. What was he doing? He's not going to put more food on my plate, is he? I stared at his chopsticks while trying to give him a look. The chopsticks changed course mid-air and landed in my bowl. One by one, he started taking food out of my bowl. Mrs. Bell asked, Alex, what are you doing? He replied without batting an eye, first of all, she doesn't eat green peppers. Second, she eats like a bird. She gets cravings but can't eat much. Your portion size could make a person explode. My heart skipped a beat. What was he doing, acting like he knew me so well? We only dated for 6 months. Mrs. Bell had a moment of realization, then looked at us like she was shipping us. Zoe, I'm so happy. Just make yourself at home. I smiled. It's okay. Thank you, Mrs. Bell. I was sitting on pins and needles in the living room. Mrs. Bell was on one side of me, Professor Bell on the other. Alex sat across from us. To break the awkward silence, I started a conversation. Mrs. Bell, did Alex take your last name? He did. We decided by drawing lots. Whoever's name got picked, he'd take their last name. I just got lucky. When you two have kids, you can do whatever you want with the last name. We don't care about that stuff. I could tell Mrs. Bell was eager for grandchildren. But, her son, he couldn't. Looks like he hadn't told his parents yet. I shot Alex a sympathetic glance. When his eyes met mine, he quickly looked down. Oh, the poor guy. My anxiety made me peel the fruit in my hands even faster. I kept a polite smile on my face and changed the subject. You and the professor have such a great relationship. We were high school classmates. We've known each other for over 30 years. By the way, how did you and Alex meet? The word slipped out before I could stop it. A bar. My rational brain kicked in, and I started frantically brainstorming. I absolutely could not say we met at a bar playing Truth or Dare. The professor's eyes were full of curiosity. Online. If you want to know the whole story, I can tell you from beginning to end sometime. Clink. A plate of sliced fruit was placed in front of me. It was peeled perfectly, with every piece cut to a uniform size. Even the white pith on the orange slices was gone. You could tell this wasn't his first time doing this. It made me feel a little dazed. I love fruit, but I'm too lazy to peel it. And I like it cut into bite-sized pieces. When we were dating, he used to do this all the time. But now, it was just an act. Mrs. Bell teased, well now, Son, only one fork? Is this just for Zoe? I felt a little embarrassed. He glanced at me, then slowly pulled out 2 more forks. What's the rush, Mom? I'm not done setting it up. Mrs. Bell didn't care. Zoe, how long have you two been dating? You should have Alex come visit your parents sometime. We need to do things properly. Winter break is in a month, and the new year is right around the corner. Maybe our families could have dinner together. The more I heard, the more I panicked. How did things escalate so quickly? I forced myself to say, Mrs. Bell, isn't this? Alex sounded a little helpless. Mom, Zoe hasn't even graduated yet. What are you rushing for? The professor chimed in, let's wait until after Zoe graduates. With the state of her thesis, graduating might be a challenge. Keep it up, kiddo. Alex burst out laughing. I shot him a glare. Did he have any idea how hard a thesis was? Stop laughing and go walk Zoe home. Make sure she gets back to her dorm safely. I wanted to say he didn't have to. But Alex was already at the door. Seeing me frozen, he raised his voice. You coming? I snapped out of it and said goodbye to the professor and his wife. As soon as we got downstairs, I spoke up. You can go back. You don't have to walk me. A boyfriend walking his girlfriend home, isn't that what's supposed to happen? I reminded him, the reality is, it's an ex-boyfriend and an ex-girlfriend. Zoe Lynn, how can you turn on me the second we're out the door? He put his hands behind his head lazily. My mom gave the order. I have to see you to your dorm building. But I have my scooter. Then you can give me a ride. I patted the beat-up, second-hand electric scooter in front of us. The front was literally held together with duct tape. You sure you want to ride this? Positive. I rode as fast as I could. He looked ridiculous scrunched up on the back seat. His long legs had nowhere to go. The whole scooter bounced and rattled. A tiny pothole sent us flying 1/2 a meter in the air. He suddenly wrapped his arms around my waist. Zoe, maybe I should drive? I wiggled my waist, trying to get him to let go. Don't worry, this thing's built like a tank. I've been riding it for 3 years. The next second, a huge pothole. The scooter went out of control, and I was thrown forward. By the time I realized what was happening, Alex had me in his arms. We hit the ground with a loud thud. I heard him grunt in pain behind me. I struggled to get up and started feeling around his body. Stop feeling me up, I'm fine. His voice was a little hoarse, but I didn't pay attention. Because I had just seen my scooter. The tire, the front, the body, a tragic scene of separation. I wanted to cry. This scooter of yours really is built like a tank. He dared to laugh at me. If he hadn't insisted on riding on the back, would my little pink ride be in such a sorry state? I turned around, my eyes wide. This is all your fault. You're fixing it. He didn't deny it. He stood up and walked over to me. He tapped on his phone. Sent. I looked at my phone and all my anger vanished. A full $1,500. I hesitated. It won't cost that much to fix. After all, my scooter was only worth $100. I'm telling you to buy a new one. If you keep riding that thing, you're going to get yourself killed. I was at a loss for words. Can't you wish me well for once? He scoffed and muttered, you dumped me. You're lucky I don't hate you. I froze and looked up at him. Why were his eyes red? Didn't he agree to the breakup pretty quickly? My gaze fell on his wrist, and I suddenly understood. It was from the pain. Why didn't you say you were hurt? Come on, I'll take you to the campus clinic. It's just a little scratch, ow. I frowned. Does it hurt? If you keep acting tough, I'm leaving you here. He quickly grabbed my hand. It hurts. The doctor disinfected his scrape and wrapped it up. I held his hand, inspecting it from every angle. Alex looked down at me, his Adam's apple bobbing. Zoe, are you worried about me? I'd scared. You don't know the right word. This is called guilt. You were fine when you left my place, and now you're going home with an injury. His lips turned down. Don't worry, I'm going back to my own place later. My hand paused. You don't need to report your whereabouts to me. He fell silent until we reached my dorm. Zoe, why did you really break up with me? His voice was a little cold. I stopped walking. Because you. The reason was scalding hot, stuck in my throat. I couldn't get it out. That's weird. Didn't he agree so easily 3 years ago? Shouldn't he know the reason? Because of what? I looked him up and down, a little nervous. You're not still hung up on me, are you? Alex went back to being cold. Humph, as if. I patted my chest. Good, that's good. His gaze grew more and more resentful. I didn't notice at all and tried to comfort him gently. I hope you find a girl who doesn't mind. So what if he's handsome? He's all show and no go. Not for me. He's only good for being a wallpaper. My thesis was a real headache. My shorter papers had gone through countless revisions before I could even submit them. Then I came across a parody song that really spoke to me. I immediately posted it to my feed, making sure to block my professor's group. No matter how much I revise, I can never make you happy. After all these changes, who can even think straight anymore? Should I just send the first draft to see what he says? The comments were a chorus of shared misery. One comment stood out. Probably not a good idea. He's taking it very seriously. Oh no. I just re-added Alex yesterday. I forgot to change his group. My smile vanished. I shakily opened our chat. Patheticlamb.jpg. Can you pretend you didn't see that? Alex replied instantly, probably not. That meant there was hope. Name your price. Anything I can do. 3 minutes later, he finally replied. Fine. You owe me one. I let out a sigh of relief. It's that hard? You want me to take a look? You're not even in grad school. Can you even understand a thesis? Outstanding undergrad thesis.jpg. Okay, he had some skills. My undergrad thesis was a dumpster fire. But I thought about it and sighed. No thanks. If your dad found out, we'd both be in deep trouble. He didn't push it. Are you still revising tomorrow? I rented a place. Moving tomorrow. Need help? Nope. He didn't reply again. I didn't think much of it. My brother helped me rent the apartment. After I got there, I eagerly looked around. 2 bedrooms, 1 living room. Is it too small? Not at all. It's just me, what do I need a big place for? I rented it through a friend. This neighborhood is pretty safe. You're a girl living alone, so it's safer here. My brother's expression suddenly turned serious. But don't go out at night. I rented this for you behind mom and dad's back. You better behave, or we'll both be in for it. I know, I'll be careful. I walked into the bedroom and felt the bed. Nice and soft. My phone rang. It was Alex. What did he want? Did his parents find out? I quickly answered. There was no sound from the other end. Just then, my brother came in with a duvet cover. I washed this. Should I put it on now? He paused when he saw I was on the phone. I motioned that it was fine. Go ahead and put it on. I thought for a second. Actually, don't. I'll do it later. Finally, Alex's voice came through the phone. His voice was hoarse and tight. Zoe, what are you doing? Not paying attention, I bumped into the corner of the bed. The pain brought tears to my eyes, and my phone went flying. I gasped. That hurts. My brother rushed over. Let me see. It hurt so much to rotate my ankle. I kept whimpering, gently. Leo. Leo. It's probably swollen. It'll be a little hard to walk tomorrow. The doorbell rang urgently. My brother and I both froze. Who could possibly be here at a brand new apartment? Zoe. Open the door. My heart skipped a beat. My eyes fell on my phone not far away. One voice was coming from there. The other voice was. Great. My brother had already opened the door. He looked the person up and down and asked, confused. Are you a friend of Zoe's? Alex's lips were pressed into a thin line, his eyes were bloodshot, and he was breathing heavily. He walked past my brother and stared straight at me. I felt like I was a heinous criminal. I told you, I'm not a stand-in. I knew he had misunderstood. I was blinking so hard my eyes were cramping. He didn't get the signal at all. He clenched his fists. Didn't you say you didn't have a boyfriend? My brother held out a hand, his gaze heavy. Hi, I'm Zoe's brother, Leo Lin. Same mom and dad. Alex's voice died in his throat. His expression shattered. He looked at me in disbelief. I shrugged. He stared at Leo and tentatively called out, Bro? My brother didn't answer, just stepped aside to let him in. I'll go finish unpacking. You two talk. He walked over to me, head down, like a puppy who'd done something wrong. His eyes were still red, but he'd reined in all his anger. So you two were just. I pointed innocently at my ankle. I bumped it. It really hurts. His expression turned to one of regret and heartache. Alex took over all the chores. When I stood up to help, he told me to sit still. He bustled around the living room. Where does this go? What about this? Is it okay here? He even cleaned and prepared the live fish my brother had bought. I was a little overwhelmed. It gave me the illusion that I was still his girlfriend. My brother came over to me. Boyfriend? I sighed. Ex-boyfriend who's also my advisor's son. My brother said with certainty, he's still in love with you. I nodded, feeling gloomy. I can see that. Why did you break up? Did you fall out of love with him? Not exactly, it's just. Leo gave me a questioning look. Just then, Alex called us to eat. My brother helped me walk over. Under Alex's expectant gaze, my brother finally nodded. Not bad. Alex's eyes lit up, the clouds of gloom dissipating. Thanks, bro. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Alex, 26, I studied computer science and started a gaming company with a friend. It's doing well now. I'm 6 feet 2 inches, my weight. I coughed loudly. Alex obediently shut his mouth. My brother suddenly laughed. Let me introduce myself, too. I'm Leo Lin, 33, a doctor. I work at City General Hospital. A doctor, that's a great profession. Alex was all smiles, clearly not recognizing my brother. It made sense. My brother always wore a mask when seeing patients. To save him from future embarrassment, I added, my brother is a well-known urologist. I put extra emphasis on the word urologist. My brother shot me a suspicious look, while Alex's smile froze. The chatty person suddenly went silent. My brother suddenly spoke up. Alex, I was just thinking, I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. Alex laughed nervously. We've probably just passed each other on the street. After dinner, Alex had something urgent come up and left in a hurry. I couldn't stop sighing. His parents would be devastated if they knew. A while back, my brother had stomach problems. The hospital was far from home, and he didn't want to go back and forth for lunch. So my mom cooked at home and tasked me, the idle one, with delivering his lunch. As I reached his department door, I saw a young man walk out with a chart. Even with a mask on, I recognized him instantly. It was Alex. His eyes were completely red. I stared blankly at the department name. A bad feeling started to grow in my stomach. It couldn't be. After Alex left, I handed the lunchbox to my brother. I wanted to ask something, but the words wouldn't come out. When my brother got up from his desk, he left his computer on. I glanced at the screen. Patient name, Alex. Diagnosis, functional disorder. I stared in disbelief. I felt like my world was collapsing. We had only been together for 6 months, but he was great in every way. How could he turn out to be all show and no go? I hesitated for a few days. He was in a low mood during that time. I didn't have the heart to ask. One night, I steeled myself. I tentatively brought up breaking up, and he agreed. That night, lying in bed, I couldn't sleep, thinking about Alex. I opened a social media app and saw a post of some guy's abs. I boldly commented, "Nice 6-pack. But I'm more interested in the 1-pack." I got a lot of LMAO and OMG girl replies. I was laughing along when one comment was liked to the top. Everyone was telling me to look, trying to get the tea. "You're not allowed to look at his. You can look at mine." The smile froze on my face. I clicked on the profile. It was completely empty. It didn't even have a name. Who was this? I couldn't think of who it could be, so I didn't bother. I replied, "Okay, show me." A moment later, my phone buzzed. It wasn't from the app, but from WhatsApp. A picture message from Alex. My brow twitched. I took a deep breath and opened it. It was a photo he'd taken from the collar of his shirt down. He'd even lit it for effect. My heart died. That account was Alex's. How did he know my account? Was he stalking me? I had to admit, he had a great body. I couldn't stop myself from zooming in over and over. The V-lines snaked down from his abs into his waistband. I swallowed hard. I already couldn't sleep because of him. Now I really couldn't sleep. Want to see more? I scoffed. What was there to see from a guy with a functional disorder? I used a popular meme format and fired off a series of replies. The moon is so big tonight. Speaking of big, you're a little lacking. This joke is a little hard. Speaking of hard, you're a little lacking. This joke is also a little rough. Speaking of rough, you're definitely lacking. This time, Alex stopped replying completely. Mission accomplished. I happily started scrolling through videos. A few videos later, my doorbell rang. I broke out in goosebumps. Don't tell me a creep found me on my first day living alone. A dozen true crime stories flashed through my mind. The more I thought, the more I trembled. My phone rang again. It was Alex. Suddenly, I felt a little safer. I quickly answered. "It's me. I'm outside your door. The hallway light is on. You can see me through the peephole." I froze, then shuffled to the door in my slippers and opened it. "What are you doing here? And how did you get here so fast?" My hand was grabbed and I was pinned against the wall. He was panting slightly, the corners of his eyes red. "I'm here to let you see for yourself whether it's like you said." Remembering my bold comments, I felt a pang of guilt. "You pervert." I pushed him, but he didn't budge. He leaned in close to my ear, his voice full of hurt. "Why would you think that?" His breath was hot on my ear. He must have felt really hurt. I avoided his gaze and tried to comfort him. "It's just an internet meme." He narrowed his eyes, grabbing my chin and forcing me to look at him. "Zoe, something's not right with you." I started to panic and shoved him hard. "What do you mean?" I tried to walk away, but because of my injured ankle, I stumbled to the side. His reflexes were quick. He caught me and lifted me up. My whole body was pressed against his. The heat was on in my apartment, and I was wearing a thin nightgown. This time, I could feel it clearly. My mind went blank. I swallowed and said, bewildered, but I thought you couldn't. When he realized what I was saying, he laughed, but it was laced with anger. When did I ever say I couldn't? Or did you get it fixed? Zoe. I've never had a problem. What the hell are you talking about? Oops, I really made him mad. I jumped off him and decided to just let it all out. I saw it. You had an appointment with my brother. His expression froze instantly. You knew? I nodded. He took a deep breath. I'm not sick. I saw the medical report. It was written right there. He stared straight at me. That report was wrong. The system glitched and mixed me up with the previous patient. Your brother scared me to death that day. Wait, Zoe, did you break up with me because of this? I felt guilty and couldn't look him in the eye. I muttered, well, you agreed to it. His Adam's apple bobbed. He seemed to regret it. You used to call me baby. I didn't get it. Huh? His eyes darkened. You suddenly stopped calling me that. I thought you were tired of me. So. He didn't finish, but I understood. Because he was mentally prepared for it, he didn't say anything when we broke up. A bitter taste filled my mouth. I cleared my throat. Well, then, I guess we can reluctantly make this fake relationship real. Alex's eyes lit up, but then he got coy. You say we're real, and we're real? What about my pride? Fine, I take it back. His face immediately fell. I was wrong. Don't take it back. 15 minutes later, we were lying in the same bed. The guest room only had a mattress, not even a blanket. The atmosphere was palpably awkward. We had dated for 6 months, but it was incredibly chaste. We mostly just talked. A kiss was the most we ever did. We'd never been this close. I don't know if the heat was on too high or if the blanket was too thick. I felt hot all over. I couldn't help but ask, are you hot? A little. His voice sounded very strange. I turned my head to look at him and saw he was even hotter than me, covered in a thin layer of sweat. I asked, what's wrong? He didn't say anything. I was a little worried and moved closer to him. I reached out to touch his forehead, and he suddenly flipped over and pinned me underneath him. His eyes darkened, and he stammered, Zoe. Are you really this clueless, or are you pretending? His body was scorching. I finally understood, and my ears turned bright red. Should you maybe take a cold shower? He sighed and buried his face in my neck. You need to stop looking at that weird stuff online. It's the middle of winter. Are you trying to freeze me to death? I licked my lips. Well, maybe I could help you. 10 minutes later, I was staring at my hand in a daze. He silently wrapped his arms around me from behind. I didn't say anything. Just as I was about to fall asleep, I suddenly remembered. If you weren't sick, what were you doing at my brother's office? He froze, a look of immense grievance on his face. Trust me, that was not my best performance. During winter break, I rode my scooter to pick up Alex. It was still a two-wheeler, but this one was top of the line. I was early, so I decided to go up and take a look around his office. As I stepped out of the elevator, someone from down the hall yelled, "Sister-in-law." I turned and vaguely recognized one of Alex's friends. His hair was dyed half red, half yellow. He was wearing a green shirt. A walking traffic light. Hey, you're here to see Alex? I smiled and greeted him. Hi there. You're very fashionable. He looked horrified. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not a gangster. Then he scratched his head sheepishly. My girlfriend dyed it. She was testing which color looked better before she did hers. I nodded obediently. No worries, I get it. Alex is in a meeting. I can wait with you. Want some coffee? The beans we just got are amazing. I can make you a cup. I nodded, a little embarrassed. Sure, thanks. Don't mention it. I should be thanking you for coming back. Alex has been on fire lately. A team of wild horses couldn't drag him away from work. He placed the coffee in front of me. You have no idea. When you two broke up, I went drinking with him. He cried like a whistling kettle, snot and tears all over me. I froze. He was that sad? You bet. I was the one who sent the text agreeing to the breakup. He said he didn't dare to send it himself. After it was sent, he just sat there with his phone all night. My heart ached with a bittersweet feeling. I lowered my eyes. Then why didn't he ask me? This friend was a real blabbermouth. I don't really get it either. Maybe love makes you a coward. Back then, the moment he walked into that bar, it was love at first sight for him. Love at first sight? Oh, Alex didn't tell you? Did I say too much? He laughed nervously. I motioned that it was okay, that I'd take the heat. That day, my friends and I were playing Truth or Dare. When it was my turn for a punishment, I chose Dare. The task was to flick a stranger of the opposite sex on the forehead. I scanned the room, and the only person who looked approachable was Alex at the bar. I walked over, my heart pounding, and asked, "Hi, can I talk?" Talk. I froze. He turned and stared at me. Talk. Yes. I didn't know why he agreed so quickly, but I thought he was such a nice guy. I was so grateful. So, under his watchful gaze, I reached out and flicked him on the forehead. I even gave a little bow and a sincere thank you. He looked like he'd just realized what happened and awkwardly took several gulps of his drink. You're welcome. It was just a flick on the forehead. Easy. Later, we added each other on WhatsApp, and I started thirsting over his profile pictures. I was the one who asked him out. I didn't understand back then that the talk he was thinking of wasn't the same as mine. You're here so early. Why didn't you text me? I snapped back to reality. His friends scurried away guiltily. Alex, you and your lady can head out. I'll get back to work. Alex was a little confused. We don't have anything going on today. That night, I did a little quality control. At his happiest moment, I raised an eyebrow, leaned into his ear, and said, word by word, love. At first sight. He tensed up, then grit his teeth. I knew that guy was acting weird today. Seeing me laugh, he made a sudden move. We'll talk about the rest tomorrow. Tonight, I need to prove myself. During the new year, Mrs. Bell's wish finally came true. She was laughing joyfully, and the professor was beaming. Our two families had dinner together. My brother sat next to me and whispered, by the way, I remember Alex now. He had an appointment with me. The clinic printed the wrong report that day. He was so scared he couldn't stop crying. There weren't enough tissues on the desk for him. The image of Alex sobbing in front of my brother was strangely hilarious. That had to be a memory he wanted to delete forever. I remembered and asked, so what was actually wrong with him that day? My brother cleared his throat, his face a little unnatural. He mumbled 4 words. Exhaustion from overindulgence. I didn't get it at the time because my mom was calling me. That night in bed, I pushed his wandering hands away. Not tonight. He looked hurt and took my hand. Then you can help me. My brother's words suddenly popped into my head. I thought for a moment. I rolled over, pinning Alex underneath me, and narrowed my eyes. What exactly were you doing all those nights when you were on the phone with me? Back then, he used to call me every night. He'd ask me to just talk to him. Even after I fell asleep, he wouldn't hang up. He stammered, his eyes darting away. Just talking to you. I didn't believe him anymore. My hand slipped under his shirt, greedily tracing his abs. lower and lower. Maybe you shouldn't use your hand anymore. I patted him and commanded, turn off the lights. The room was instantly plunged into darkness. And then, things got physical. Hear no evil, see no evil.